Their best baseball since Stump Merrill took over, currently riding a 3-game winning streak in Toronto on Friday night to take on the Blue Jays. Top of the first inning, after a Don Mattingly ground out, made it 1-0. Sorry about the coverage here. They were showing a replay when they picked up this home run late. That's by Steve Balboni, a solo shot with 2 out, his 6th of the season, RBI number 14, that one coming off of Jimmy Key, and it was 2-0 New York in the top of the first. In the top of the third inning, Mel Hall finally showed up. He had to go back to New York to attend to a family problem, and he didn't get back because of plane problems at Newark International Airport. And there's Deion Sanders giving him a hard time. Watch Bob Guerin after he flies out, tries to kick his helmet, misses it, and has to go back. Bottom of the 5th inning now, controversial play. Tony Fernandez up to bat. He smokes this one down the line. It looks like it went over the bag fair, but third base umpire Greg Kosk said no, it's a foul ball. But the ball did kick up some chalk. The next pitch, this man Alvaro Espinoza will snag the Fernandez liner, and then he'll throw over to first base and double up Junior Felix. So those were the first 2 outs of the inning. In the top of the 6th inning, Tony Fernandez had a few words for second base umpire Dale Barnett. Kelly Gruber and Manny Lee come over there to try and keep Fernandez away from Dale Barnett, and Cito Gaston came out. Order would be restored, and then Don Mattingly would get a single. And Tony Fernandez would begin arguing with second base umpire Dale Barnett again as the Yankee dugout looked on. And this was a heated exchange as Dale Barnett would eject Tony Fernandez. That brought Cito Gaston back out, and Dale Barnett wasn't even the umpire who made the call. It was Greg Kosk. And Tony Fernandez still upset as John McLaren gets in there. And then watch Cito Gaston push Tony Fernandez and John McLaren away. So Tony Fernandez is ejected from the game by the umpires and by his own manager. Well, in the top of the 8th inning, the Yankees leading 5-1, leading things off against Frank Wills is Steve Balboni. He hits his 2nd home run of the game, his 7th of the season, another solo shot, this one to left field. That made it 6-1 New York. Well, that argument by Tony Fernandez seemed to spur the Blue Jays on. In the bottom of the 8th inning, they score 5 runs. John Olerud with the 3-run homer to left field off of reliever Lee Guterman. Gruber and Bell were aboard. RBIs number 22, 23, and 24 on his 7th home run of the season. That made it 6-5. Kenny Williams added a fielder's choice groundout to make it 6-6. And Jesse Barfield, former Blue Jay, the fans still love him there, but they probably weren't loving him after this, as he makes this great catch to end the bottom of the 9th inning as he robs George Bell of a hit and send this one into extra innings. And they went to 15 innings as this guy got a little tired. And in the 15th inning, the top of the 15th with 2 outs, Mike Blowers with the line drive single into center field off of Blair. That scores Barfield and Sanders. That gives New York an 8-6 lead. George Bell would hit a solo home run off of reliever Dave Righetti to make it 8-7. But in the bottom of the 5th inning, Dave Righetti would nail down the save as he gets number 15 on the year. He gets Glenn Allen Hill to fly out to left field to end it. Greg Cadaret gets the win in relief. He's 2-4. Willie Blair takes the loss. He's 0-4. And the Yankees win their 4th straight, 8-7 in 15 innings over the Toronto Blue Jays on Friday night.
Inside a Skydome skybox on this Saturday afternoon as the Blue Jays play host to the red-hot New York Yankees. In the top of the 2nd inning, the Yankees jump out on top. Matt Noakes with a 2-run home run to right field. That's Dave Righetti catching the home run ball as Glenn Allen Hill loses his glove. Mel Hall scores on the play. Home run number 6 for Noakes. RBI 17 and 18. And the Yankees lead it by a score of 2-0. Then the bottom of the 2nd inning with the bases loaded, Glenn Allen Hill makes up for dropping his glove over the wall as he hits a 2-run double down the left field line. This coming with the bases loaded as McGriff, Myers, and Liriano all score. And the Blue Jays go up on top by a score of 3-2. In the bottom of the 3rd inning, starter Tim Leary would go through some wildness as he uncorks a wild pitch, allowing Tony Fernandez to score from 3rd base. And this gives the Blue Jays a 4-2 lead. The very next pitch to George Bell would strike him out, but once again, the pitch would be in the dirt. A wild pitch once again for Tim Leary as George Bell makes it to first base. Kelly Gruber scores, and the Jays go up on top by a score of 5-2. Then the bottom of the 7th inning with Toronto up 7-3. John Olerud with his 2nd RBI of the day as he hits a double into left field. George Bell scores, and the Jays go up on top by a score of 8-3. Then the top of the ninth inning with the Jays up 8-4 and the bases loaded, Tom Henke comes into the game and strikes out Don Mattingly with a pitch in the dirt, then strikes out Mel Hall to end the ball game. As Toronto wins at 8-4, Stoudemire with the win, his record now 8-3. Leary with the loss, his record drops to 3-10. Henke with his 12th save. Toronto remains a half game in front of second place Boston, and it also ends the Yankees' season-high 4-game winning streak.
And the New York Yankees in Toronto on Sunday afternoon to play the Blue Jays. Bottom of the second inning, George Bell will hit his 16th home run of the year. Comes off of Chuck Carey, a solo home run to left field, and that gave the Blue Jays an early 1-0 lead. Still in the bottom of the second inning with the score 2-0 on a Manny Lee RBI double. Mookie Wilson will extend the lead with a base hit to right field just beyond Steve Sax's reach at second base. Glenn Allen Hill scores. Bob Guerin won't be able to handle Jesse Barfield's throw. Manny Lee scores and it's 4-0 Toronto. In the top of the third inning, however, Guerin handles this John Cerruti pitch, leading off the inning with a solo homer to left field, his 4th of the year, but it's still 4-1 Toronto. In the bottom of the third inning, George Bell will strike again, as he has so many times for the Blue Jays, as he gets a 2-run homer to left field, picks up Kelly Gruber, his 2nd home run of the day, 17th of the year, and the Blue Jays lead by 5, 6-1. And George Bell wasn't done just yet in the bottom of the 4th inning with 2 outs and Kelly Gruber on second base. Bell will get a base hit to center field off of reliever Greg Cadaret. Gruber comes in to score for Bell. It's his 4th RBI of the day, his 28th of the year. And that gave the Blue Jays a 7-1 lead over the Yankees through 4 innings of play, as George Bell is having a hot day. New York scores 2 in the top of the 5th inning. Donald Arthur Mattingly gets a base hit up the middle through Cerruti's legs. Roberto Kelly would score RBI 30 for Mattingly, and that made the score 7-3 Toronto. Jesse Barfield now will get hit on the foot by this John Cerruti pitch. It will bounce straight up in the air. Barfield will tumble to the ground, but he's okay. He did stay in the game. The Toronto Blue Jays defeat the Yankees by a final score of 8-3. Cerruti the winner, and Chuck Carey is the loser.
Blue Jays were defeated by the Red Sox 10-8. Boston with a half-game lead over the Blue Jays in the American League East. Tonight in the bottom of the first with 2 outs, Tom Bernansky doubles off the left center field wall. Wade Boggs scores, and it's 1-0 Red Sox. RBI number 24 on the season for Boggs. We move now to the top of the second inning. Jody Reed with a great over-the-shoulder grab on George Bell's loop behind second base. A great catch by Jody Reed for Boston. Wes Gardner making the start for Boston. He allowed just 2 hits and 2 walks while striking out 8 over 6 innings to improve to 2-4. Here in the top of the second, he gets John Olerud to go down looking for his 4th strikeout of the game. In the bottom of the second inning with 1 out, Carlos Quintana will make it 3-0 Red Sox with his 3rd home run of the year. A 2-run shot onto the screen in left field. It came with Tony Pena on board. It's 3-0 Boston. RBIs 24 and 25 on the season for Quintana. It's the first home run of his career at Fenway Park. Gardner combined with Rob Murphy and Jeff Reardon on a 4-hit shutout as the Red Sox have now won 5 straight. There in the top of the 4th, he strikes out Tony Fernandez. In the top of the 7th inning, Mike Greenwell will slip and fall as he catches Fred McGriff's liner to left field. And take another look at Greenwell's reaction as he smiles and points toward the lights as he had some trouble with the lights on that play. In the top of the 9th, Jeff Reardon picks up his 12th save of the season. He gets John Olerud to line out to Carlos Quintana to end it. The Red Sox take it 3-0. Gardner is the winning pitcher. He's 2-4. David Wells takes the loss. He's 5-2.
Fans at Skydome want George Bell to hit this, but watch what George hits instead. Walt Weiss smacks it to the deep left. George goes back, hits the wall hard. He was okay, and he gets the out. The A's with a different kind of hitting here. 1 man on, 2 out in the 3rd. Dave Henderson puts it out of the ballpark. Oakland goes up 2-0. Meanwhile, here he is, Dave Stewart, looking outstanding for the A's. Watch him strike out Mookie Wilson. His 6th strikeout of the game. Stewart, no-hitter, good through 4.5. 5th inning, A's play a little more long ball. Man on for Ricky Henderson. He puts this one over the fence and left, and Oakland's in front 4-0. On to the 7th inning now. No-hitters still intact for Stewart. Tony Fernandez at the plate, and Tony Fernandez takes a seat. He goes down swinging. No-hitter good through 7. In the 8th, leadoff batter Fred McGriff hits the most dangerous ball of the evening. Dave Henderson brings it in, though. The no-hitter is good through 8. On to the 9th now, and Stewart with 1 strikeout, one strikeout already in the books. Second batter, Mookie Wilson, goes down swinging. 2 out. Stewart, 1 out away from a no-hitter now. puts himself in a full count situation against Junior Felix, then walks him. No-hitter still intact. Tony Fernandez at the plate. Stewart gets Tony to pop out to center field to record his first ever career no-hitter. Stewart struck out 12 in this game. Fourth no-hitter this year. Mark Langston, Mike Witt combined on one for California. Randy Johnson for Seattle. Nolan Ryan for Texas. And the final score in this game, 5-0. Oakland over Toronto. First no-hitter for Oakland since Mike Warren did it back in 1983.
Sunny and warm day in Anaheim, California, as the Angels play host to the Toronto Blue Jays. Pick up action in the top of the first inning. All-star pitcher Chuck Fenway on the mound. He strikes Kelly Gruber looking to end the top half of the first inning. In the top half of the second inning, Toronto gets on the board first when Manny Lee grounds one to second base. Pat Borders will stand still. Johnny Ray throws to first for the out. Then they get Pat Borders in a rundown. But Fred McGriff will score from third base in the meantime, giving the Blue Jays a 1-0 lead. Then the top half of the fourth inning, Ken Williams comes up and he grounds one to third base. Jack Howell bobbles the ball and then throws late to first base. Mark Whitten scores from third base, and the Blue Jays lead it by a score of 2-0. It was a hot one at the ballpark today as this young fan looking for a foul ball that was hit up that way last inning as Gene Autry entertained some guests in his luxury box. In the bottom of the seventh, Luis Polonia will ground one to shortstop. Schroeder will score from third base, RBI number 13 for Polonia, and the Blue Jay lead is cut in half at 2-1. Still in the seventh inning, Max Venable hits a double to the gap in right center field. Jack Howell scores, RBI number 11, and the game is tied up at 2 apiece. It will remain that way until the bottom of the ninth when Johnny Ray comes up and hits a single into left field. Luis Polonia scores from second base as Pat Borders can't come up with the ball. RBI number 18 for Johnny Ray, and the Angels win it by a score of 3-2 in the bottom of the ninth as Chuck Fenway goes the distance for his 12th win against 4 losses. He struck out 7 in the ball game. Tom Hankey with the loss. His record drops to 0-2 as the California Angels sweep the 3-game set.
On Tuesday night, Luis Sojo and the Toronto Blue Jays in Seattle to take on the Mariners. Top of the first inning, Sojo hits the grounder to Edgar Martinez. He boots it not once but twice. That's an error on Martinez. Sojo is at first base. He would later score on a Fred McGriff ground out, and it was 1-0 Toronto as you take one more look at Edgar Martinez. In the bottom of the second inning, a great play coming up here from the Seattle side as Jim Lefebvre looks on. Tracy Jones, the left fielder for the Mariners. Despite a hurt knee, he'll run this one down out in left field as he robs Tony Fernandez of a hit, leaps, makes a catch, and slams into the wall. Tony Fernandez thought he had a hit, but Tracy Jones comes up with the nice play for the second out in the inning. Well, Fred McGriff has 4 RBIs through 6 innings in this game. Here he makes it 2-0 Blue Jays with this solo blast to the upper deck at the Kingdom. He's only the 20th player to ever hit one up there. It's his 22nd of the season, that one coming off of Brian Holman, and it was 2-0 Toronto. He later added an RBI single to make it 3-0. Let's take one more look at Fred McGriff's upper deck swing. And there's Blue Jays clubhouse clown George Bell trying to get the cameraman to take a look at Kelly Gruber's face. Well, in the bottom of the 6th inning with David Wells still pitching, 2 outs and the bases loaded, who better to have up there than Alvin Davis, who prior to this at-bat had 6 career grand slams. Well, he hits his 7th career grand slam as he puts this one in the right field seats. It's his 7th home run of the season also, as that makes it 4-3 Seattle. David Wells gives up the grand slam to Alvin Davis, who makes a habit of this as he hits his 7th career grand slam. In the top of the 7th inning, after Fred McGriff knocked in his 4th run of the night with the sacrifice fly to tie it at 4, Rance Mullinex up with 2 outs facing reliever Keith Comstock. He singles back up the middle. Scoring on the play is Luis Sojo, and it was 5-4 Toronto. But in the bottom of the 7th inning, Seattle comes back to tie it up as Harold Reynolds knocked in a run. Then in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs, Edgar Martinez doubles into right field. That scores Alvin Davis from first base. That gives the Mariners a 6-5 lead as both the tying and go-ahead runs come off of Dwayne Ward with 2 outs.
Ozzie and Jose Canseco show Friday evening in Oakland as the Toronto Blue Jays are in town to take on the A's. Top of the first inning, and Kelly Gruber, the batter, he greets starter Kurt Young with this 3-run home run into left field. Home run number 21 for Gruber. RBI 67, 68, and 69 as the Blue Jays jump on top 3-0. Jamie Quirk's perfect sacrifice bunt in the bottom of the second cut the lead to 3-1 as Mark McGuire scores. Then into the bottom of the third as Dave Henderson celebrating his 32nd birthday. The Bad Boy Club would be happy with this shot. A solo home run to left center field, home run number 15, RBI 44 for Henderson, 3-2. Next batter and next pitch, Jose Canseco goes to right field. Home run number 27 for Canseco, RBI 63. We're tied at 3. Tied at 4 now into the top of the 5th inning. Pat Borders will double off of Oakland reliever Todd Burns down the left field line, scoring Tony Fernandez and George Bell on the double. RBI 30 and 31 for Borders, 6-4 Toronto. Blue Jays move out to a 7-4 lead in the 6th inning. That's when Tony Fernandez triples down the right field line. Luis Sojo will get the call around third base and beat the Mark McGuire throw. 7-4, RBI number 38 for Fernandez. It would be 8-4 after 6 innings of play, and then in the 8th, Jose Canseco strokes his second home run of the game, 28th on the season. Another solo shot, RBI 64, and it is 8-5 Toronto.
Saturday afternoon in Oakland, Mickey Mouse was on hand to throw out the first pitch, but the Oakland Athletics lost their second straight game to the Toronto Blue Jays, this time in a pitcher's duel by a final of 2-1. Scott Sanderson was a hard luck loser despite retiring the first 12 batters he faced. Here in the top of the second inning, he strikes out Fred McGriff with a nice forkball. Dave Stieb also pitched well as he went 8 innings, allowing only 5 hits and 1 run. Here in the bottom of the second inning, he shows some nice reflexes by grabbing the line drive up the middle off the bat of Walt Weiss, a fine play by Dave Stieb. Scott Sanderson allowed only 3 hits, but unfortunately for him, 2 of them were hit out of the park. After retiring the first 12 batters, he gave up a solo home run to George Bell, leading off the top of the 5th inning. Bell's 18th home run was just over the glove of a leaping Doug Jennings in left field. It was Bell's first home run since June 24th. Doug Jennings a bit frustrated as he slams the wall and covers his face. We'll take another look at the nice try by Jennings, but he can't get it. That gave Toronto a 1-0 lead in the top of the 5th inning. It was a beautiful day in Oakland on Saturday afternoon, and before the game they held Family Day, as there was all kinds of festivities going on in the field. Players such as Terry Steinbeck and Bob Welch showing their little kids around out on the field. Even Roger Rabbit was on hand in the festivities along with Mickey Mouse and other Disney characters. In the top of the 6th inning, Pat Borders would give Toronto a 2-0 lead as he connects off Sanderson for a line shot to left field that goes over the fence. His 11th home run in the year, that gave Toronto a 2-0 lead in the top of the 6th inning. 2 solo home runs were 2 of 3 hits Toronto had in the game. In the bottom of the 8th inning, Jose Canseco lofted a fly ball to right center field. Mookie Wilson lost it in the sun, and Doug Jennings would score on the play. That would be Oakland's only run of the game as Canseco got an RBI with a gift double. Even he was a bit surprised at how bright the sun was in Oakland. Dave Stieb would get out of the jam in the bottom of the 8th inning by striking out Felix Jose with Jose Canseco on second base. That would be the last batter Stieb would face as he went 8 innings, allowing 5 hits and improved his record to 12-3 on the season. In the bottom of the 9th inning, Tom Henke allowed 2 runners on base, but he would get out of the jam by striking out Doug Jennings to end the game. He picked up his 19th save on the year. Toronto wins it 2-1. Stieb is 12-3. Scott Sanderson fell to 11-6.
On Sunday afternoon in Oakland, brothers Jose and Ozzie Canseco will appear in a game for just the second time today as the A's host the Toronto Blue Jays in the final meeting of the season for these two teams. In the bottom of the first, with the A's leading 1-0 on a Jose Canseco sacrifice fly. With 2 outs and no on, Dave Anderson strokes a solo home run off the foul pole in left field to give the A's a 2-0 lead over the Blue Jays. For Dave Henderson, that's home run number 16 and RBI number 45 on the season. On to the top of the second with 1 out and 1 on. A great play coming up here by A's shortstop Walt Weiss. John Allrood hits one in the hole. Weiss dives, makes a nice backhand, and gets up and throws Allrood out at first base. Great play by Oakland Athletic shortstop Walt Weiss as we take one more look at it. Weiss dives to his left, gets up, and then throws Allrood out at first base. The brothers Canseco talking about hitting in the Oakland dugout. Jose advising Ozzie about how to improve. Then in the bottom of the third, Jose showed Ozzie how to do it. With 1 out and Ricky Henderson on second base, he strokes a single off of Jimmy Key into left field, driving in Henderson to give the A's a 3-0 lead. RBI number 67 on the season for Jose Canseco. That was his second RBI of the ball game. 3-0 Athletics over the Blue Jays after 4 innings of play. Oakland starter Mike Moore pitched a masterful ball game this afternoon. Here in the top of the fifth, he strikes out Pat Borders for the second out of the inning. Mike Moore went 8 2/3 innings today, allowed no runs on 4 hits. He struck out 2 and walked no one. As we take a quick look at these 2 cute little boys having a great time in the ballpark this afternoon. Great play coming up here in the bottom of the 7th by Toronto third baseman Kelly Gruber. Walt Weiss with a sharp high hopper down the third baseline. Gruber with a nice stab and throw to get Weiss at first base. Rick Honeycutt came on and pitched a 1-batter in the top of the 9th. He gets Fred McGriff to line out the left field to end the ball game and pick up his 4th save of the year. Oakland defeats Toronto by the final score of 3-0. Mike Moore is the winner. He's now 9-8. Losing pitchers Jimmy Key, his record falls.
Skydome in Toronto, Canada. Toronto playing host to the Kansas City Royals. Toronto wins it 7-5. In the bottom of the 2nd inning with the bases loaded, Kevin Appier strikes out Mookie Wilson. Mike McFarland, only to need to step on home to get the force, throws the ball into the right field corner. 3 runs would score. Toronto would lead it 3-1. With the score tied at 4 apiece in the bottom of the 3rd inning, Mark Whitten would step to the plate. He would snap this 4-4 tie with this 2-run shot, his first career home run in the majors, and Toronto would go on to win this one 7-5.
Saturday afternoon in Toronto, Cito Gaston and the Blue Jays hosting the Texas Rangers. The top of the 2nd inning, Jimmy Key gives up 2 singles, and then he walks Steve Luchelle to load up the bases. And with 2 outs, Key strikes out Jeff Kunkel on that outside pitch to end the inning. Jimmy Key pitching out of a jam in the top of the 2nd. In the bottom of the 2nd inning, Kevin Brown, who's making the start for the Rangers, will strike out the side. And here he gets Manny Lee to go down swinging for his 4th strikeout of the game. We move now to the bottom of the 4th inning. This game still scoreless. Julio Franco making the nice hustling play to get Fred McGriff at first base after Brown deflected the ground ball toward the mound. Umpire Rocky Rowe right there to make the out call. It's the 2nd out of the inning. And we'll take one more look at this play. Franco making the nice hustling play, but it looks like McGriff may have just beaten the throw to first base. In the bottom of the 5th inning, the bases loaded and 2 outs. Kevin Brown will pitch out of the jam as he gets Tony Fernandez to go down looking to end the inning. It's his 7th strikeout of the game. Brown struck out 8 in this one as he brought a shutout into the 9th. Brown allowed only 5 hits through the first 8 innings as you take a look at newly acquired John Candelaria as he looks on in the Toronto bullpen. In the top of the 8th inning with 2 outs, John Russell breaks up the scoreless tie. He doubles down the third base line off Jim Acker. Julio Franco comes in to score, and it's 1-0 Texas. RBI number 6 on the season for Russell. And that forced Cito Gaston to make a call to the bullpen. John Candelaria making his first appearance with Toronto. Harold Baines takes the first pitch he sees by Candelaria into left field for a single. Russell comes in to score, and it's 2-0 Rangers. Watch this double play in the top of the 9th by Toronto with 1 out and a man on third base. Tony Fernandez fields pinch hitter Jeff Houston's ground ball. Gets Gary Pettis in a rundown between third base and home plate. He's tagged out by Greg Myers. Myers makes the throw to first base to get Houston for the double play to end the inning as Fred McGriff makes the tag at first. In the bottom of the 9th inning, Fred McGriff leading off for Toronto. He breaks up the shutout for Kevin Brown with his 23rd home run of the season. Shot to deep center field, and it's 2-1 Texas. It's 55th RBI of the year. Still in the bottom of the 9th, nobody out. Pat Borders with a pinch hit ground rule double to right field off Kenny Rogers. Pinch runner Kenny Williams comes in to score, and it's tied up at 2 apiece. RBI number 33 on the season for Borders. And that would send this game into extra innings. And in the top of the 13th with 2 outs, Harold Baines is the hero. He hits a solo home run to deep center field on the first pitch he sees from Frank Wills to make it 3-2 Rangers. His 10th home run of the year, his 38th RBI. That would be the final score as Texas hangs on for the win in 13 innings. Brett Onsberg, the winning pitcher, is 4-1. Frank Wills takes the loss. He's 5-3. John Barfield picking up his first save.
Good afternoon at the Skydome. That's Tony Fernandez pitching to his kid. And he goes running down to first base, and George Bell's son will tag Tony Fernandez's son out. Well, the Texas Rangers are at the Skydome to take on the Blue Jays, and that's Ranger reliever Kenny Rogers bopping out in the bullpen. Bottom of the first inning with the score tied 1-1. Fred McGriff will hit the ground rule double down the left field line. It'll bounce in front of Pete Incaviglia and into a fan's glove. Scoring on the play is Kelly Gruber, RBI number 56 for McGriff. That made it 2-1 Toronto as George Bell moved over to third. And we'll take one more look at this one as the fan will make the nice play on the ball that Pete Incaviglia couldn't after he misses it on the bounce. The lead in this game would seesaw back and forth, and in the top of the third inning, Texas adds 3 runs. First, Mike Stanley will line this one off of David Wells' hand right to Kelly Gruber. He throws him out, but David Wells would have to leave the game after the second inning with the hurt hand as he took it right off the hand. Hard shot by Mike Stanley. Wells finished out the inning, but he just wasn't the same. After giving up an RBI check swing double to Steve Buechele to tie the game, Gary Pettis came up to bat with 1 on and 2 outs, and Pettis will hit this triple into the left center field gap. That'll score Buechele, and that'll give Texas a 3-2 lead. Julio Franco lined a single into right field to score Pettis later on to make it 4-2 Texas. But this triple by Pettis was his 23rd RBI on the season. In the bottom of the third inning, with the bases loaded and 2 outs, Manny Lee will drive this Jamie Moyer pitch over Pete Incaviglia's head. He runs into the wall as he clears the bases. Bell, Borders, and Hill all score on the play. RBIs number 21, 22, and 23, and it was 5-4 Toronto on the 3-run double by Manny Lee. But in the top half of the fourth inning with 1 out, Ruben Sierra will clean the bases off of Jim Acker as Mookie Wilson misses the ball. Scoring on the play are Steve Buechele, Gary Pettis, and right behind Pettis is Ruben Sierra. That made it 7-5 on the 3-run double by Ruben Sierra. RBIs number 59, 60, and 61. But in the bottom of the fourth inning, Toronto will come back and take the lead. Fred McGriff with his second and third RBIs on the day as he singles into center field. That scores Fernandez and Gruber, RBIs number 57 and 58. Then with George Bell at second base, Pat Borders hits this one off of Rafael Palmeiro's glove. That's an error on Palmeiro. Bell scores. That makes it 8-7 Toronto. The Blue Jays win it 10-8. Jim Acker gets the win in relief while Craig McMurtry takes the loss, and John Candelaria picks up his first save as a Blue Jay, his 5th on the year. Here he strikes out Jack Doherty looking, and Doherty not too thrilled with Rocky Rowe's call. The Blue Jays win it 10-8 on Sunday afternoon as they win the rubber game of the 3-game series.
On Monday night, the Orioles take on the first-place Toronto Blue Jays. Baltimore will be without Phil Bradley, whom they traded to the Chicago White Sox for Ron Kittle, who had a few words to say before the game.
It was not a big surprise. You know, both teams are looking for something a little different over there, and I was doing my job for the White Sox well, and you know, it's kind of hard to understand why you get traded when you're doing good. You know, I can see if you're slacking off a little bit, but I was, you know, playing good baseball for him, but I wish him success, and I hope I do a real good job over here.
Kittle did not start for the Orioles, but pinch hit in the game and went 0 for 2 as the Orioles got routed by Toronto, a final of 9-2. In the top of the second inning, George Bell started things off for the Blue Jays as he took a Bob Milacki pitch deep into the left field seats for his 19th home run of the year. RBI number 63 for Bell made it 1-0, and it was also his 200th career home run. Lots of naval officers on hand, but they wouldn't be too happy as the Orioles were routed in this game. In the top of the third inning, after a sac fly, made it 2-0. Kelly Gruber, who had 3 hits and 3 RBIs, made it 3-0 with a double into the left center field gap, his 73rd RBI in the year, scoring Mookie Wilson, and the Blue Jays led it 3-0 in the top of the third inning. That would knock Bob Milacki out of the game as he lasted only 2 1/3 innings, giving up 3 runs. Moving to the top of the fourth inning, Brian Holton didn't fare much better as Pat Borders took him deep to left field. His 12th home run of the year was a 2-run shot, scoring John Olerud, RBIs number 34 and 35, and the Blue Jays led it 5-0 in the top of the fourth inning. Todd Stottlemyre went 6 innings to snap a personal 4-game losing streak. Here he gets 1 of 2 strikeouts as he strikes out Sam Horn in the bottom of the fourth inning. Stottlemyre got his first win since the All-Star break and improved his record to 10-11. In the bottom of the fifth inning, the Orioles got their first run of the game as Mike Devereaux hit a ground ball under the glove of Kelly Gruber and past Tony Fernandez. Somehow that was ruled an error on Gruber at third base. That allowed Billy Ripken to score to make it 6-1 Toronto. With the score 7-1 in the top of the sixth inning, Gruber hit a 2-run homer to left center field. His 22nd home run of the year, RBIs number 74 and 75, scoring Mookie Wilson to make it 9-1. Toronto won it by a final of 9-2 as Dwayne Ward pitched the final 3 innings in relief to record his 8th save on the year. He gets Ron Kittle to ground out to shortstop, ending the game. The winning pitcher, Todd Stottlemyre, is 10-11. Bob Milacki fell to 4-8. The Blue Jays increased their lead over the Baltimore Orioles to 5 games in the American League East and hold on to their 1-game lead against the Boston Red Sox. The Orioles moved to within 4 games of the first-place Toronto Blue Jays with a 6-4 victory. The Orioles got 3 runs in the bottom of the first inning off John Cerruti as Cal Ripken hit his first home run at home since early June. His 11th home run in the year was a 3-run shot, scoring Milligan and Anderson. The Orioles led it quickly 3-0 in the bottom of the first inning. In the top of the second inning, the Blue Jays got a run on a Glenn Allen Hill ground out. Then Luis Sojo came up and made it 3-2. As he took a Ben McDonald pitch to right field, it looked like it would be an out, but Steve Finley dropped the ball. John Olerud scored off camera, and the Blue Jays pulled to within 3-2 in the top of the second inning on the error by Steve Finley. In the bottom of the second inning, Brady Anderson would put the Orioles up by a score of 4-2. He got his 15th RBI of the year with a single to right field. Steve Finley came in to score, and the Orioles led by 2 runs. Ben McDonald allowed 7 hits and 2 runs over 7 innings and joined Dave McNally as the only Oriole pitcher to win his first 3 Major League starts. There he strikes out Tony Fernandez in the top of the third inning. The bat is fair, but Fernandez heads to the dugout. Tennis star Pam Shriver on hand in Memorial Stadium. In the bottom of the 5th inning, she'd see Craig Worthington pick up 2 RBIs with a double down the left field line, scoring Randy Milligan and Mike Devereaux, and the Orioles led 6-2. That would be all the scoring for the Orioles, and Toronto would score 2 more but fall short. The final was 6-4. In the top of the 6th inning, Greg Myers made it 6-3 as he hit a liner to left field. It looked like it would drop in, but Brady Anderson came running in and made a great diving catch. Fred McGriff tagged up on the play and scored to make it 6-3. The Blue Jays added another run, and in the top of the 7th inning, an interesting play as Craig Worthington dove headfirst over the tarp. He not only missed the ball, he risked his life on the play, but he ended up losing his glove as it went into the crowd, and a nice fan gave it back to him. Greg Olson got the final 4 outs to record his 24th save on the year. He strikes out George Bell to end the game. The winning pitcher, Ben McDonald, is 3-0 and 4-0 in his short Major League career. John Cerruti had a 4-game winning streak snapped. He's 7-7. The Blue Jays are tied with the Red Sox for first place in the AL East.